Okay.
Should I just do
Announce it.
welcome to the Monday, February 1st, 2010 meeting of the Arts and Culture special meeting. Item 1, roll call. Commissioners Deaver,
Yes.
Verhoeven-Essian,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Wagner,
Present?
Chairperson Kevanian is absent. The agenda for the February 1st meeting was posted on the bulletin board outside City Hall on January 29th, 2010. And we need to nominate a pro tem chair since Chairperson Kevanian is absent today.
I nominate Commissioner DeVerley.
Verhoeven-Essian.
Verhoeven-Essian.
Second.
That was too fast.
It's been a long morning.
Roll call. Commissioners Deaver,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Kevanian is absent. Pro tem chair Verhoeven-Essian.
Yes.
Congratulations.
That should be written in the history one day.
Item 2, business agenda. At 2A, nomination and appointment of commissioner members to Man's and Humanity to Men Subcommittee.
At the last special meeting, the Commission discussed and expressed interest in organizing the Men's in Humanity to Men event for this year. And there were many ideas, exchange of many ideas. Due to the limited time, in order for you to move forward, you really need to approve your desire to proceed and move forward with the event, whether you want to hold the event or not. And second, you really need to nominate and vote for members of the commissioners to serve on the subcommittee. So you have two items that you need to vote for. The first one, as I said, it will be voting. The Commission will vote if they're going to approve the Men's in Humanity to Men and proceed with that.
I move that we, as a commission, participate in the city's observance of Men's in Humanity to Man.
Anybody second?
I second the motion.
Commissioners Deaver,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Kevanian is absent. Pro tem chair Verhoeven-Essian.
Yes.
At 2B, discussion and recommendations for planning, organizing, and presenting Man's in Humanity to Men event.
No, the second will be the...
We need to nominate two people to that subcommittee.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So to be clear, you are serving already as a member of the city planning, the overall planning committee.
Yes.
In addition, we need to form a subcommittee to do our part.
Yes,
That's correct. Okay.
And the discussion last time was that, we need to have two people to sort of chair or run the subcommittee to the will of the commission. So the idea was that should we have two people besides me, or should I be one of the two that is going to be with it? Now, if we will have two people elected, nominated to that committee, then that person has to work with me to report it to me, so I would take it to the big committee. If I am the person who's going to be one of the two, then whatever is happening here, after discussing with the commission, then I'll take it to the big committee. So it's a choice that we need to make here.
Having missed the last meeting, were there other volunteers? Does Chairperson Kevanian wish to serve? I would suggest that Chairperson Kevanian and Chairperson Pro Tem Arlette Verhoeven-Essian serve as members of the subcommittee, provided they'll accept whatever help we can offer them.
I second that.
Okay, so that means that Chairperson Kevanian and myself would represent the commission, and then hereby, whatever we'll discuss afterwards, then I'll take that to the main committee as well. Thanks. That sounds good.
Vote?
Roll call.
Commissioners Deaver,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Kevanian is absent. Pro Tem Chair Derhovenessian.
Yes.
At 2B, discussion and recommendations for planning, organizing, and presenting Man's in Humanity to Man event.
Well, I would like to just give a little preview because Commissioner Wagner was not here. This year, we don't have too much time because last time we collected our money in December and then we had already the subcommittee in place. But we were waiting to see how we would do the fundraising, so we got the money. Then we went back and we started to get everything on the roll. This year, well, this has been discussed with us just 2 weeks ago, and now we are trying to have all these special meetings so that we'll accommodate the wish of the council as well. So that's why we don't have the money part. Would be the budget would be either tight or none, and the time we have time constraint because we have only 2 months altogether to get the event in place. So that's why we need to make sure that we cannot have the picture that we had for last year. The main part that took a lot of time and money was the exhibition part, which we had to have a curator, we had to contact artists all over the world, whoever was interested. And then we had to have the selection process, and we had the catalog, and we had all the publicity that had to go. As far as publicity, I need to let you know that this Thursday when we meet, I'm going to make sure to find out if the committee that is going to take care of all the publicity and the press for the April 24th event and the commemorative week, if they are going to also do the publicity for the Man's in Humanity part, like announce the dates or the artists and where the locations are and etc.
My expectation would be that the overall committee will announce everything that
Yes.
anybody is doing as a part of that. And I think I would be interested, to know what the larger committee looks for. If they're planning events at which a few pieces of art would be welcome, or some art would be welcome, if there are events that we could plan music events, I would be happy to have us provide whatever we can within the week that the city has established, and that's of an artistic nature. I think we have to be careful not to speak of it as separate events or plan
Yes.
something. We're assisting the overall effort, I think.
That's correct. Basically, first they have to choose the date. They're discussing between the Friday or the Saturday, 23rd or 24th. So that would leave us the other 4 days of the week to do whatever else we can do. But pretty much so far, they have left everything to the commission to make their decision on how they want to present their Man's in Humanity to Man. It's just, I think, it's basically the idea and the concept of that inclusiveness that we had for Man's in Humanity, and also projecting the same pain and the same feeling that is common, the commonality of the feelings during that week. So, but there were not much detail. It was just, first I said I'll take to the commission and we'll make a decision that, first of all, how and when we can do it and what are our possibilities. So that's why we are here. I would like to take any suggestions that you have for this. So when we organize the subcommittee, to begin with, since we have okayed to have the Man's in Humanity to Man, it would be good if you have any recommendations as far as the members of the subcommittee, because by knowing who will be in that subcommittee, we will know what is the authority, what is the power, what is the magnificence, what is the domain or boundaries of what we can offer during those 4 days or maybe 2 days, based on how we'll program it. And then I'll report it to the main committee and we'll get back. But pretty much it's left to us.
In terms of the formation of the subcommittee, can we leave the appointment to our two representatives if we were to email suggestions,
Yes.
knowing that we have a time constraint tonight, so that
That's how we did last time too. If everybody agrees, we can do it for this year as well. If you have any people in the community that you know that they could be of help to us, and they are resourceful and they are knowledgeable and talented in the areas, that would be good. We have not yet limited to anything, but I know that we would not have the big exhibition, the art exhibition, as we had last time, because the other side events were we did it in shorter period of time and we did with less money. So that's why basically those are the parts that could be good events that are in conjunction. Now, if we could have, let's say, Central Library, the small area for kids projection of different things or other artists, but again there would be the selection story of how we are selecting it, because we have to have the theme, as Commissioner or Chairperson Kevanyan was saying. Last year we talked about the first subcommittee meeting, we decided what would be the theme for this year's Man's Inhumanity to Man. Then maybe that could help, and I could, if it's okay, I could email it to all the commissioners, and then everybody could send in the people that they know in the field that they think they could be of resource and help.
Are you talking about a theme that's separate from a city theme, or
No.
Okay.
For last time with Man's Inhumanity to Man, we had a theme. What was the? I can't remember how we worded. Do you remember? It was on all of our flyers. It's bad that I can't remember. Yes, it was a journey to peace, or journey to sort of starting from the suffering of man and going to peace.
But it wasn't. It was for our particular piece, separate from the overall.
No, that was the theme
for the whole city.
Event.
Okay.
Journey out of darkness.
Journey out of excellent. Thank you very much. Journey out of darkness was the Commission's Man's Inhumanity to Man's theme for that year. This year, we could decide on something that we could put together. That's why we had all the message of hope, which I would like to see all that message of hope. I think all my commissioners who are on this dais would like to see that, because we always like to deal, when we talk about the sorrows of mankind, we want to see the hope. And there is survival. So we have the survival, we have the hope. But how they word it, that's what last time it was decided. But you see, it was nobody somehow remembered the theme that we had for even I who was in the thing, I couldn't remember the exact. So is there any issue, or is there any concern, or is there a special direction you would like to take, Commissioner Wagner?
I don't have any particular at this time. I guess I'm still struggling with whether we're trying to establish our own identity, or whether we are acting as a subcommittee of the larger city committee.
Sort of. Can I say something? One thing
for
that
ourselves.
Large commission.
Okay.
Now, the thing is that, with the Week of Remembrance, they specifically talk about the Armenian genocide, and then they add on, because the major kind of impact is that part of the historical situation and what was reflected upon. With Man's Inhumanity to Man, we try to make it equally for all the different communities and all the different ethnicities and all the different historical, whatever we could gather. So we were not specifically trying to go towards one direction and have the rest as being part of the thing that sort of expressed the same idea. So I suppose by having Man's Inhumanity to Man added, and the request that we need to be there is still to have that openness. So to me, there are two themes, yes. I think the main committee is majorly talking about the April 24th situation. That's why we have the event either on 23rd and 24th. But Man's Inhumanity to Man and Commission has a wider range of being more inclusive, and that's what we did last year. So it is the same theme, but it's not exactly following the same direction.
Well, I'm sort of clear. Although from my experience on the committee, the effort has been to recognize genocide throughout
Yes.
the cultures and throughout history. In particular, of course, the 24th. But
Yes. So sort of there's a kind of, you can't put percentage, it's not a mathematical situation, I'm sure, but, the majority or the main impact was of that nature. But Men's in Humanity, we are a little bit more, we have more independence into spreading it as far. We could be much more inclusive. The time and the events could be much more inclusive. And that was the mission for me to have Men's last year. Men's in Humanity to Men was specifically to make sure that everybody
in the community feels that we will go as far as we can to express all the pain and anguish and all the historical events if the artists and the people who are willing to come and to be part of it want to project theirs. So it was to have that healing thing because it's very important. I know that all the main committee, whatever they have put, they are very inclusive. They have put different historical events, but the major focus has been on the Armenian genocide. On Men's in Humanity to Men, it was not. It was equally decided. It's based on what artists produced and what came in and how the curator decided how to put things together, and we agreed with him. So that's but if we need to take another direction, I'm willing to follow whatever my commissioners decide.
So I don't have a recommendation for a particular theme or particular events apart from let's do them. Let's bring some music and bring some art into the week. I would leave it to the subcommittee to make recommendations to the city council unless I don't have a recommendation to take to the city council at this point with regard to a particular theme if that was required or requested.
We are just brainstorming a little bit for me to have an understanding of what my colleagues at this point are interested to have, because we are going to represent Commission and the city. Doesn't matter, whichever part we take. So it needs to be something that everybody on this Commission thinks that that's the direction we need to go, because it's an activity that is it's within the responsibility of this Commission, even though two of us are going to be on that subcommittee, but we are representing this Commission on that subcommittee.
For my part, I think the broadness that you speak of, and that I know was part of the Men's in Humanity to Man last year, I think would be really important to reproduce in some manner. And recognizing that the time and funding constraints, I think that hopefully that the subcommittee can work toward a handful of well-conceived but compact events that can be clearly identified in terms of location and in terms of their theme, so that they can be well received by the community in spite of the restrictions that we're facing this year.
Well, that depends on the strength of the subcommittee that we are going to choose. So within the short period, because all the people who were in that subcommittee, they know that we started much earlier. I suppose somewhere in October or etc. We got into meetings and we were brainstorming for the theme and then how we want and what direction till we got the money, and then after that. And besides all the meetings that we had, we almost spent about, and all the commissioners were also involved in the rest of the part, that we were reading all the press, whatever is going to be sent to the press, all those. It took, I said, at least an hour every day till the day of the event, that we worked on it to make it to get where we need. So it depends who are going to be in our subcommittee. We don't have a curator. With the curator, she did a lot of the work, and then Ripsime and Alicia, they did a lot of the work as well. They did the legwork to catch up with the events. This year, Ripsime Marashan, she said that she has a lot already on her plate, and she would volunteer her own time, but I don't think we have to discuss and see also with George Chapchin to see how much time we can have of her time to decide how big, how much money, how. But the hows are all depending on the people who are going to be there.
What else do we need to do?
So basically, is there a special, of the events, is there a special thing that was very popular with you. You liked it as far as the poetry, as far as the music, as far as the panel of the artists that discussed. What was, besides the main exhibition, what was there that sort of you thought would be nice if we recollect? I really appreciate that Commissioner Deaver talking about the fact that she liked that broadness and inclusiveness. Okay, so we will have that for sure in mind. Is anything else?
I think a poetry event, if we can organize it, if we find out, I don't know what venues may be available for an event, whether the Brand Library or the main
Police
library.
Department and Police Department, they have a reception hall or they have a conference hall. They said they could have that for us as well, if we know ahead of time.
Having a poetry night, having or poetry and music. Again, I don't know how many other events may be planned as part of the city effort.
But basically, I think they're talking about the main one, which is the 23rd and the 24th. So far, nothing else has been discussed about other nights having events. So it was just the kickoff. It was the first session, and not all the committee members were there present for the main committee. So I cannot say much, but basically, we were recruiting even people for the committee that we thought they could be effective. So we were supposed to be talking about all of that.
I mean, I could imagine events that might, whether, I know there have been panel discussions as
Yes.
part of the week in the past. Maybe there could be a panel discussion and art night, or artists speaking about how their work has been affected by the genocide or by other events.
So basically, those side programs that we had, it was something that, I took the liberty, I emailed Ramela, and I said that I don't know what my commission colleagues are going to decide, but if we go on with that, would you volunteer your time? Because this year we cannot have her, we cannot pay. So she was talking about the family events that she has, and she has introduced already another lady that I need to, if we decide today, which we decided, yay, to contact. She's from UCLA. And to see what she has, and to invite her to come to our subcommittee to see of professors and artists and art teachers and art professors, what kind of, because she has also been involved with exhibitions and she has curated different things. So that's one venue.
Well, I mean, if you can pull off, if the subcommittee can pull off another showing, that would be great. Whether we do something like that or whether we are limited to a couple of other events, I don't think we should. I would not want us to say, well, if we can't do something as grand as last year, we don't want to do it. I don't think that serves the community, and we're here to provide whatever we can.
As far as the art exhibition in that magnitude, even the councilmen, they talked about the fact that we don't have the Brand Library, and they suggested if we do any exhibition of that nature, we would need Brand, and this year we don't have. So, and as far as going through the process with Ramela Bamuntian, Dr. Bamuntian, and with Rifsime Marashian, the thing that takes the most money and the time is the art exhibition part of it, because the insurances, you need to get them in place, you need to save them, protect them, till, you have all that process, and the process of choosing them, it was God knows how many hours. Rifsime, how many hours was spent just to pick and choose of all the things that people emailed you, artists emailed you, to come to a selection and then to limit it again to whatever Brand could?
Well, it took us several weeks at least just to choose, and data entry took a lot of time for us to make the portfolios for each artist. And then after the curator went through the portfolios, and we had about 148 portfolios, choosing all the artists. No, I'm sorry, more. I think it was about 300. After she chose all the artists, anyway, the selection process took us a lot.
Since we've voted for the subcommittee, and a lot of these details are clearly not things that we can discuss in this forum, just because we don't have the information that you're going to have to get as part of that subcommittee. In my suggestion, I don't know formally how we might do it, but that we kind of hand that over to you. And I know for myself, and I think that I heard my fellow commissioners say that if there is assistance that we can provide during this, because we know that there's certainly a lot of time that needs to go into it, I think we'd certainly be willing to do that. And please send an email, and we can provide ideas that might come up or contacts that we may have. And again, my only thought is, I agree. I would, love to see whatever we can happen given the constraints that you're under, and go forth.
That sounds great. So far, we have one or two people who have been recommended from previous group. Arman, just for your information, last time when we were brainstorming, he said he is willing to look for musicians and to look through their repertoires to make sure that the themes that they're going to choose would match to whatever would go with Man's Inhumanity to Man. We can contact, just for your information, Lori Hipke, last time that was with us. She's an artist, and she's also working with a poetry group that she did a very nice selection. She had artists from different countries who came and brought their own stories from different cultures, which was very interesting. So far, we have some people that we know of, and it would be great if you would introduce whoever comes to your mind. Okay. Yes.
I thought of Tina Demergian, who does so much work with a wide spectrum of ages.
We could include her.
But again, I think we can pass on this information to you.
That's very good. We'll see who will be the chair.
Yes, just to expedite the process. It
That
will
would
be very
be great.
helpful if you start sending your ideas and names directly to the subcommittee members.
Or you could send it to the commissioners and all the other commissioners. I like that. That way, because we talk back and forth on the email.
That's
No,
a Brown
we
Act.
can't?
That's
On
why we're
email
not
we
on the
can't?
committee.
No, Chair and Commissioners, it would be okay if you directly provided the information, the names, and the contacts to the subcommittee, but by email you would not want to debate or...
Not debate, just recommend.
Well, or have a discussion. We'll just call it a discussion about, whether this would be good or whether this would be better. Provide the information to the subcommittee members, just pass it that way, and then you can, at a next meeting, you certainly can give an update and report back to the full commission.
So just suggestions.
Just
Fran, so
suggestions.
this is the email address.
One way.
Okay, got you. Okay, great. Thanks.
Just for clarification on that, but the other commissioners could be or could not be CC'd, just for the instance of maybe if it's spurring other ideas of contacts, or not to duplicate and to streamline.
The other commissioners could be certainly CC'd, just so you know that you're not going to do a duplicative name or something like that. It's just we don't want to encourage any discussion or consensus or going back and forth with emails between commissioners.
Thank you.
We promise we won't discuss anything. We'll just get the information.
Along those lines, what's the deadline for signing up for the Brown Act workshop? Since I think I'm at my 2 years, I have to do it again.
Brown Act, actually, it was postponed.
Ethics.
And we don't
Ethics.
you mean the
Brown Act.
ethics training?
Ethics.
Are you
Yes,
asking me?
whatever.
about-
You can do online as well, huh?
It's February 11, I think, but I can resend you the email, or if you want me to call you back tomorrow.
The February 11th is the training, or is the...
The training, the city attorney is going to present in room 105 MSB between 4 and 6 p.m. on Thursday, February 11th, AB 1234 ethics training.
Between 4 and 6 on the 11th.
Yes.
Okay.
There was a
Yes.
Brown Act workshop which was canceled. That's why I back in
okay.
December.
Additionally, and I did see an email that Ripsame did send the commissioners, and she can send it again, that you can do it online for free at any time, but it would you have to do it every 2 years, and 2 years pretty much from the anniversary of when you last did it, approximately.
Okay.
I started it online.
I'll email you.
It is very focused. In a way, it's good because it's very focused. But yet it doesn't have all the fun of being present at the meeting and asking the questions there and all that. Maybe I'm a people's person. I like when there's lots of it. This way you see this cut and dry, but it's really focused if you do it online, though. So, is that all? Okay. So two things we decided. We go with the Man's in Humanity to Man for the main committee, and then we have the subcommittee, myself and Chairperson Kevanyan is going to be part of it. And then we can email just information and we don't discuss. And then whatever we come up with, could we have a special meeting later on if need with all the other commissioners to update them about this rather than wait till the next commission meeting? If people want to get to be more informed of what's going on. That sounds very good. Thank you very much. And I hope Arma and I can hit the gap.
Is there any way of, if a meeting is planned, checking about the date before it's set? I mean, I was sorry to miss, the one meeting. Okay.
It has to be coordinated with the GTV6
I know,
and
but-
with the chambers and with everybody else, yes, before we decide and confirm the date. I will contact you that there is a suggestion to hold a special meeting on this date. If it's okay with everybody, then we'll go ahead and make the arrangements.
The idea for that, specifically was that because last year we had so many months there, and each month we could come back and explain what we were doing with the rest of commissioners. This year we don't have too much time, so maybe there would be only 2 commission meetings, and maybe it would be nice if you would all be on the same page with the special meetings.
Our next meeting is the 18th.
On the 18th.
That's plenty soon for me. I have a lot of...
Well, by organizing a subcommittee, I don't think till then we would be able to do much, but after 18 till the following one, I hope we would do much more, so it would keep you all on the same page.
Right.
Okay. The meeting is adjourned. Is that what we do?
Thank you.
On to the spelling bee.